snowing. I am about to go into a winter solstice retreat for nature educators. And it's snowing and there is snow in the ground and I am so excited and dressed way more than I probably should be. Totally holding out as now a full-blooded North Carolinian. I have 4 pairs of pants on and 2 hats.
We know that over the course of one night, stars appear to travel across our sky from the east to the west. But what about over a longer time? How do you think our nighttime sky changes over a whole year? So now we are looking at the sky on one night in January. And the 2 constellations you see are Leo and Orion. I'm going to show you what the sky looks like exactly 1 month later in February, then March, and so on until we get to January of the next year. Right now is winter when the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, and in the southern hemisphere, they are starting to experience summer. It rose from the east and is setting in the west. Now let's compare that to a summer solstice sunrise. And let's take a moment to again notice the position of the sun, where it's rising in the east and where it's setting in the west. And then if you follow the angle of the sun, we can see that most concentrated area of sun's direct rays are in the south. Let's take a look. So now it is 1:16 a.m. tomorrow, Sunday morning, that we're looking at. So this circle is of a few different bright stars. We have Pollux in Gemini, Procyon in Canis Minor, Sirius in Canis Major, Rigel in Orion, Aldebaran in Taurus, and Capella in Archaea, and then Castor in Gemini. It's the artwork that goes along with Gemini. They're known as the twins, Castor and Pollux, and they are a super common sight in the night sky. And actually, right now, between now and December 21st, there are going to be some meteoroids, some meteor shower activity around the Gemini constellation. So this meteor shower is annual and it'll be passing through between now and the 21st, and the peak is expected to be between the 12th and the 13th of December. In the night sky is Orion. And above his belt, there is a red supergiant star called Betelgeuse. And it changes its brightness in regular cycles over a few years and is one of the largest stars visible to the naked eye.
And that's what we can use for like a tinder. Grass-like material.
Common experience I have a lot. Start with the black,
Paint off of it, or whatever color it may be, and get an angle. If I have it flat, it's just smooth. There's not friction that I'm looking for. Light it and welcome the bird to take a rest, and then when they would light it, you know, it would be a symbol of it coming, the sun returning, you know, the next day, because you know that was a fear. Every year, maybe the sun wouldn't come back, so they would light their fires. They would light their new Yule log.
Here, I can,
Has such fast energy. I'm like, let me get it. What is blood circle? He said, I don't know what that is.
I'm not a Boy Scout.
So when
Nice job, Shauna. I got a picture of you laying down there.
Snow.
watch the snow melt. 5 hours. Wow.
So every time we light a candle, all those, and the whole room is illuminated, that is the gift of photons. Are much larger. I love this game. Well, being rich is good and all, but surely. So my kids harvested and saved that jar for me, but really, for space saving, you can just shave your root bark and only save that. You don't have
thinking and what you're doing as you go through the walk. And I don't mean like some spiritual awakening, just like being present in the moment, which sounds simple, but tends to be really difficult for a lot of us. So we start walks usually with an exercise to try and help with that. And I like So the note that you're humming, it has a specific frequency, something close to it, which partner of people to do it. It's grown a bit in the last 4 years. We have
Over a decade ago, I began to grow a deep appreciation for this darkest time of year, an inner knowing that I must honor the darkness to truly recognize the light. Winter Solstice invites us to slow down, to settle in, and to notice the quiet changes in nature. Though the days grow short, the season is full of a different kind of light, found in slowing down, reflection, and connection. Life continues to ask much of us, just in quieter ways. Living close to the land reminds us that even in dormancy, everything is alive, and that I, too, am part of that living rhythm. This has been our son's quest in the morning. With a pickaxe and a trowel in hand, he searches the property for ice, going through all the animal waterers and the empty pots, and back here behind the shop. This is the latest I've kept turmeric in the ground, and it is thriving. Not anymore, but deep underground. It smells so good. We just harvested the ginger a couple weeks ago, but we are getting down into the teens
in a few nights. So I am just preparing, knowing that this definitely isn't gonna make it. You can already tell by the foliage. I've slowly been picking that foliage and feeding it to the animals. I know Ginger is a very heavy feeder. But I actually did not fertilize these plants. I just used some really good, well-matured compost in the spring before planting. It smells so good. And this is certainly wild to see at the winter solstice. This is frost tender cotton. The children planted this in their forest homeschool bed as a flower to see the beautiful hibiscus. And then I just turned this into a lesson at the end of the season, inviting in some history with George Washington Carver and peanuts we had out in the garden. A conversation and observation into observing the root structure of peanuts and the nodules that affix nitrogen into the soil if left for the following year's crop. It's amazing. History, science, all in one. It's just a couple simple plants and seeds. But these, despite the children wishing that, or hoping that they were going to be able to sew some tapestries and t-shirts, we are going to save these for some fire starting in our winter session. I am super excited this year, although they are few, about the strawberries. We certainly will have to put some extra covers on them in the chilly nights that are approaching, but this is pretty promising. And these are my personal favorite, alpine strawberries. So good. So itty bitty, but so good. So here is all of this year's fresh turmeric. And then here, very similar to an Irish potato, these are the rhizomes that we sprouted last winter and planted. They grew these. We grew a lot less than last year. So I need to do some research on ways to use more of these outside of a few dishes I know and lots of teas and golden milk.
Check out this speckled beauty. We planted heads of lettuce as well, wherever there was space around in the greenhouse. And if you want something that will clear out your sinuses, try one of these nasturtium seeds. I like to put the flowers on our salads to make it extra pretty, but these I save for special people. Check out these kohlrabi! Nice. Rosemary, are you hungry? Are you hungry for breakfast? Yeah? Chomps. Eat, chompers. Eat, chompers. Oh. These guys have quadrupled in size. They are pure cooties. And look at this little beast. Look at this little beast. We have 5 girls. So if anybody wants a Christmas piggy, we've got some. We will have pure Cooney piglets, Cooney Michon mix piglets. And for goats, we will have pure dwarf Nigerian and pure Nubian kids this spring. If things go as planned. But we know that nature always has its curveballs on the farm. What are you and it is about? This one has waddles too. Oh my goodness, goose. You little goosey. We are feeling all prepped with hay for the winter. We are down to orchard because this winter we are not milking any goats, so no alfalfa.
We'll start that up after this in hopes of spring babies. Hello, Vader. Hello, Vader. Good morning, Nemo. Everybody is looking a little fluffed out, and some of these ladies are about 2 months pregnant and surprisingly starting to show. Good morning, Nemo. Check out Twinkle's big belly. Oh, lovely. We are fixing the compost bin. It got a little destroyed on the backside from the piggies. This is our local soil. Thank you, Sandhills of North Carolina. Pretty much devoid of life and nutrients. And underneath that, about a foot down, sometimes 2 feet, is a really hard packed clay. And this is the soil we've built, full of life. Just filled this bed with a whole bunch of compost. One step ahead for spring.
This winter solstice, I was invited to go on a trail ride with my favorite horse, Pixie. I'm so thankful to be able to ride and care for the horses each week at Weymouth Equestrians.
pajamas. I am prepping for our mini Monet class this afternoon. Instead of painting, we will be block printing and finishing up our study of mushrooms. Chai is steeping for school.
Oh, don't burn me.
Yule log is on!
It's so pretty. No.
A Yule log goes into the fire before we dip beeswax candles with our forest homeschool community. May these candles remind the children of the light they carry within, even on the darkest, longest night of the year.
I'm excited about a good cocktail. You show that to him when he gets older.
Tonight we shall see who gets the tomte in the cake, and good fortune for the rest of the year.
You could play this like
3.
you could play this all day long.
Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 5, 4, 3. Man. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 plus 2 is 7.
You might think that those are wild animals, but this is what they've been doing every night after feeding the piglets. Wrestling and practicing jiu-jitsu in the backyard long after I come in.
This is my grandma's Christmas quilt on my bed.